It's your host with the most to say, Miss J.
And your one and only Miss Smiley.
Hey, Miss Smiley. I'm so happy to see you. I'm so glad we're back.
First episode of the year.
2022. Happy New Year, everyone. Yes. So let's make a New Year's resolution to stay on our jobs.
Okay, I was gonna say I don't do resolutions. However, yeah, we you're right.
Why don't you do resolutions?
I feel I don't want to. If I'm going to do something, I'm going to start right then and there. If I was going to do something, like a couple weeks ago, and I know normally I'd be like, I'm going to wait till the new year. No, for me, it's an excuse to not start. So if I want something to do, I'm going to do it right then and there and not wait to make it. I mean, overall, I know what I want this year to be for me, but that's just my goal in general, not just a New Year's resolution, if that makes sense.
That makes sense. Well, let's just make sure this year we're about our business, Miss Smiley.
Yes, you're right.
Yes.
I agree with you with that one. Yes, we need to stay on time and make sure we're doing it. You're right.
Yeah, so it's a lot of exciting things we have coming up in 2022. I think I ended 2021 off right. The beginning of the year was a little shaky and things like that. But for the most part, I really don't have a lot of bad things to say about the year. I know a lot of people's like, oh gosh, come on 2022. But
I do not. I mean, 2021 for me was really a year of smiling. I really took time to focus on myself. I didn't stress myself out and I just relaxed, which is sometimes it's kind of hard to get back on things, but really for 2021 it was a really good year for me, and it just gave me the time to relax and focus on and get my mind right, my body right, and everything like that. So 2021, despite some a few hardships there, overall was a good year for me.
Yeah, it was a good year. So I learned a lot about myself and about my child. So coming into myself blossoming, create lots of friendships, relationships, stuff to talk about in upcoming shows,
Yes, we'll talk about some stuff. We got some good stuff for you guys for this coming year. Lots of things to talk about, lots of new things and some artists and things like that, but we won't go there just yet. But 2022, we do have a lot to offer you guys, and we hope that you will stick with us through this time.
And we promise to be present. The passing of our dear late friend Hef Chulo kind of threw us off a little bit. I think that's why we stopped doing as many shows as we were doing. But I just hear him in the background. Keep pushing. You better not give up. So we're not, and we're here. So let's talk about some good things that have happened that ended 2021. Let's talk about our Ohio State Buckeyes winning the Rose Bowl. Woo! Yes, honey. 48-45. Do you know how close that game was?
That 48-45. That was an nail biter.
48-45. That was a close game. It was a nice game. And I was on pins and needles. I'm like, listen, y'all owe us one. Because the way Michigan whooped on us on November the 27th, I'm like, baby.
That was we needed a comeback for that. Yes, we did.
We most definitely
But we did. They came through, won the Rose Bowl. Go OH.
I-O. Yes. But then, so Michigan, Michigan whooped us on November the 27th, but we whooped Michigan State.
Oh, I
watched November the 20th. So remember that game?
I do. I watched that game, and there was really no point to watch it. I was watching it with a person from Michigan. And I was like, I just kept laughing because I'm like, I'm sorry, I feel bad for you because you were coming over here thinking I'm going to whoop your butt, and that's not what happened. So every time Ohio State made a touchdown, I'd hear a grumble, and I'm like, sorry. Yeah, that was.
Yeah. So he's from Michigan. So does he likes Michigan State or Michigan?
I think Michigan in general.
Okay, because a lot of people, like a lot of Michigan fans are Michigan State fans, which I really don't understand the whole, because they're like rivals. You know what I mean? It's like,
for me, it wasn't that big a deal. I used to be in sales, and my territory was Michigan. Mm-hmm. So Michigan paid my bills for several years. So I could care less. I lived in Ohio. Michigan paid my bills. Go Michigan. But I don't do that job no more. So
a lot of people are going to be upset that we keep saying Michigan, because you know they like to refer to it as that state up north. Like we're not allowed to say Michigan. We have to say that state up north.
Look, I'm going to say what I want to say. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyway, but it was a good game to watch. I mean, it was funny. Mm-hmm. But I'm glad that we did come back after the Rose Bowl and win that. And we needed that.
Yeah, we did. I really don't know much about Michigan or Michigan State's players, but have you ever heard the name Kevin Mumphrey?
I have not.
Okay. So Kevin Mumphrey played for Michigan State.
Okay.
And then in 2015, he got drafted. I think he was like the 15th round pick to the Houston Texans. And then he got like into some trouble, like when he was there. But I just remember his name, you know, because of the controversy when he was at, you know, Michigan. And he's from a really little tiny county in Georgia named Dooley, Georgia. Have you ever heard of
that? Sounds familiar.
Dooley, Georgia. So Dooley, Georgia is small. So Dooley, Georgia, right now, the 2020 census, I think it was like 11,900 and some people, like in the whole county.
Wow.
Yeah, in the whole county. And the whole county consists of, let me check, how to write it down. The whole county consists of Vienna, Unadilla, Pinehurst, Byramville, Lilly, and Dooling, Georgia. That is, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cities. And it's only 11,000 people in the population.
Small. That is very small.
That's very small, you know. And so I really never heard anything about Dooling, Georgia, or anyone that has come out of Dooling, Georgia. But there is Kevin Mumphrey. He's from Dooling. And then have you ever heard of David Reagan?
I have not.
He's a NASCAR driver.
And I want you to know that my son's big into NASCAR.
Okay. Ask him, has he heard that name? So he's like a really famous, you know, NASCAR driver. He's from Dooley. And then there's also Roger Kingdom. He was an Olympic gold medalist in track and field. You should know about track and field, ma'am. So you don't know who Roger Kingdom is? Okay. So the reason why I was asking so many questions about small, old, tiny little Dooley, Georgia, is because we found an indie artist that's actually from there, who has caught the attention of myself and a plethora of my friends and family. I was sent a song by this woman like 2 months ago, and I was like, my God, who is this person? Who is this person with this angelic voice? Had never heard of Myia B before. We're going to play a video for you guys right now so y'all can kind of get a feel on actually why we're so smitten by her, and we had to get her into the EOE Radio and TV studio.
Deliver me, cause all I seem to do is hurt me, oh Lord, hurt me, Lord, deliver me, cause all I seem to do is hurt
mute my mic because I was feeling something about to come out and I didn't want nobody to hear my terrible voice. So I muted my.
You about to start speaking in tongues? My God, that voice.
It's just amazing.
Everything. And then like just watching her, just like, I don't know, like the facial expressions that she makes while she's singing.
It's effortless. That's what, like I said, I'm so jealous of singers. And I always say I hate you guys because I'm just so jealous. And especially when it's so effortless, it's just like, oh, I want to do that.
I could not deal with you. That is Miss Myia B. And she is from Dooley, Georgia. And we want everyone to welcome her into the EOE Radio TV studio.
Yes.
Hey, how y'all doing? EOE Radio.
Yes.
How y'all doing? Wow.
Thank you for coming and talking with us today. We're so excited.
Yes.
Oh, for sure. I couldn't pass up this opportunity. I could not pass up this opportunity.
Yeah.
To be with EOE Radio. And that was unexpected. I didn't know you were going to play that song.
Listen, we are fans. Like I'm trying to tell you, a couple of months ago, I got sent a song of yours that we're actually going to play tonight. And I'm like, who is this? Because music is my love language. Like, people can always tell what type of mood I'm in by what song is playing, So
I got you.
Music. And so I got sent the song and I was just like, oh, you trying to say something? Okay. Okay, Angel Wings. And I was like, find out who this Myia B lady is. So, I'm a Googling and I need to know. And I was just like, oh my God. I had no clue. Like every song. So yeah, I'm totally a fan. We be driving down the street and I have all kind of stuff on my phone and I'll be playing. My 8-year-old knows lots of your music. Yeah. So
really?
Oh gosh. If I call him up here in the studio and put your song on, you hear him in the background singing like he wrote the song.
Wow. Oh my goodness. That's one of my dreams that people would sing my song. So yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah.
So I reached out and like, we need to hear, how people always, they get wedding planners and they go online and they find the top 10, top 100 list of best songs to play when you're walking down the aisle at your wedding. I said, now listen, if Angel Wings don't get placed, on that list, I'm gonna have a whole situation with the who does it, the Music Association. Yes. We're gonna have a conversation with somebody because it is absolutely amazing. But before we even get into the song, just tell everybody a little bit about yourself besides the fact you're from little old Dooley, Georgia. What else should we know about Myia B?
Yeah. Okay. So I'm from a small town, Vienna, Georgia, Dooley County. Grew up singing in the church. I grew up singing. I was around 5 or 6 when I sung my first song, which was "Whose side are you leaning on? I'm leaning on the Lord's side." That was the first song that I sung, and it just singing in the choir just helped build my confidence. I looked up to one of my aunts who still sings to this day. Her name is Amelia Williams. She sings to this day. She was one of my biggest influences. I was a tomboy when I grew up. When I was growing up, I played football with the boys in recreation and middle school football. That's a little. I sung in a quartet, a gospel all-female quartet when I was in high school, all the way up to around 2016. So my roots go deep with gospel. But that's a little bit about me. I'm a nurse. I don't know if y'all knew that, but I'm a nurse. And when we were talking about bronchitis and COVID and all that, I'm like, okay, because I just got through taking care of some COVID patients.
So you said you were in an all-girls group, an all-girls gospel group some time ago.
Right.
And it's just, I'm an investigator.
Okay.
So it just so happens that I actually have a clip of you in this all-girl group, and I believe that you guys were called No Measure. Is that correct?
You all have done your research. Yes. That's exactly correct.
Let's take a peek at the young Miss Myia B with No Measure and see where it all started.
I turned away, turned away, turned away from all of those things that's hindering me from being what I want to be in Jesus. I turned away. From all of those things that's hindering me from being what I want to be in Jesus.
Did you hear this? Yes.
Oh my goodness. I did not know you digging. You're digging in the crates now. You're digging.
Well, I've noticed with a lot of Black people in general, most of our roots in our singing, music background is rooted in the church in general.
Yes, it is.
But most of us, I mean, anything musical that I enjoy as well, I've got to listen to my gospel every morning to start my day off. That is a part of who I am. And with a lot of Black folks in general, that is just ingrained in us. It's a part of us, and we usually get our start to that down home music.
Yes. It's gospel music for me is grounding, and sometimes it's hard to separate gospel from more secular types of music. Sometimes they use the same bass lines, and sometimes they refurbish or reuse gospel songs to make an R&B song, or reuse an R&B song to make a gospel song. So it's ingrained in us, and it's just
I listened to
the soul
and realize, like, man, I really like that song, and then I go back like, oh my God, that's a secular song. Oh Lord,
it's hard. I'm telling you, I have that same experience. It's amazing. So yeah, for sure. It's the soul. Our soul is just ingrained in everything we do, basically, and music is just an expression of that, for sure.
Definitely. I love it. Miss J is our investigator on everything. So I leave it to her to really dig in deep, and when she brings it out, I'm like, oh snap! Look, so yeah, she did some deep digging to get some information, and I love it.
She definitely did. That might have been about, I don't know when that was posted, maybe 10 years ago, 8 years. I don't know how long. How long?
9 years ago.
That's it. Yeah. So that was you did some digging on that one. So
I did. I definitely did. I gotta know who Myia B is. Like, I'm really, honestly, seriously, like, no gassing, but I'm a fan, and I like to know with who I'm dealing with, personally, professionally. That's just the type of person that I am. So,
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
And while I was digging,
I
found out that you were on Sunday's Best.
Yes, I was.
How was that? That is pretty cool. Like, that's amazing. How was that experience for you?
That experience was crazy. So, okay, I have this whole little story. I'm trying to make it quick though. Like, so I've always said that I don't really believe in. I don't like competitions. I don't like to feel it. I want to just make my art and rise. And I don't really like the competition aspect of it. But somebody on Facebook encouraged me. They were like, Myia, they're having us singing in Atlanta at Greater Travelers Rest. You should go. I was debating. I said I wasn't gonna go, but I convinced myself to go. So I took off right after work. I'm a night shift nurse. So I took off right after my shift. So I got off at like maybe 7:30 in the morning, and I couldn't change clothes or anything. So I didn't have a chance to take, because the Atlanta is like 2.5 hours from my job, and I had to be there at around 10 o'clock. So I just had to take off from my job, go straight to the auditions. And when I pulled up, it looked like nobody, it didn't look like much was going on. I was like, oh, I might have missed it. I was walking into the church, and I saw a police officer there, a security guard, and it was like she was about to turn me around. I was like, where do I go? But they finally let me into the building, and I was like one of the last contestants to be there. I think it might have been like 230 or 230 contestants, and I was number 199. And by the grace of God, I made it through the first round of auditions. I made it through the second round, and I mean, people were singing. Like I have to give praise where praise is due. These were some singing. They were doing runs. I mean, we were just waiting to go into the room, and they were doing runs, and everybody was singing, and these were some singers. So the fact that God allowed me to be in the top 20 of these, it was more than 200 people in the building, but I think it might have been, I don't know, 5,000 contestants over, I don't know how many it was, but it was thousands of contestants online that entered into the contest as well. And I just thank God I was top 20 of everybody. And I made it through the first round, made it through the second round, had a little discourse with Kirk Franklin on stage, and he gave me some advice. And I was able to be on the show. And so I was able to meet Erica Campbell. I was able to meet Jonathan McReynolds. I was able to, they didn't show this on the show. I wanted them to show this on the show, but I was able to actually, Kelly Price gave me a hug. Yeah, she gave me, that was amazing. I wish they would have shown that on the show. Because the premise that I know I'm talking about, but they, the premise, what it is that they give everybody a backstory. They help you construct your backstory, tell a little bit about yourself. And my thing was that I guess I'm the first openly LGBT contestant on the show. I'm sure that there were others on the show before me, but that was what my backstory was built around. And one of the judges, I'm not gonna name names, I kind of felt a little, she was like disapproving of me. I don't know if it was my performance or my backstory or what, but Kelly Price, she told me, she said, you're gifted, and we need you. We need you in this business. We need your ministry. Don't stop singing. And she said, come on up here and give me a hug. And that was a big, I wish they would have shown it on the show, not just for the theatrics of it, but other people might need to hear that. Other people need to hear that, So that was a big moment for me. So that's in a nutshell, that's how my experience was on the show.
And see, I'm gonna have to go back because I watch. That's one of the only singing shows I watch is Sunday Fest. So I'm gonna go back because I got some recorded. I
was on the second episode. So they did the auditions in 2 episodes, and it was 20 contestants, and I was part of the second episode. So second episode of season 10.
So I have a couple of questions in reference to that, because I didn't see the show, but I was able to see the introduction clip to the show, and I seen where you said you weren't sure if they were going to be ready for someone part of the LGBTQ community.
Right.
And do you honestly feel that may have had an impact on the judging that you received?
Other people seem to think that. I think it might have had something to do with it. I think it might have had something to do with it. They will never say that, but I think it might have had something to do with it.
Yeah.
I don't think they were ready. I think they were ready for it.
The church really isn't, in my opinion. They say, come as you are, you know, no judgment, but there, you know, there's still always that underlying judgment there. And
Exactly. For sure.
So I just think that, you know, personally, just hearing your voice, so I heard the voices of some of the other ones that were in the introduction video, and I'm not sure if some of them had made it further than you, but from the ones that I saw and heard, I'm like, okay, now if they got further than she did, then I know there was some bias there because, girl, you sang. Okay.
I thank God for that, and I thank you for saying that. Thank you so much.
Most definitely do. And then, you know, a playful question, because you know, that's just part of my personality. Is Kirk Franklin, is he a really little tiny person? Is he?
He's short. He's short. He's short. He's definitely short. He probably comes to like right here to, and I'm 5'7", so he probably comes right there. So yeah. He's short.
He's like, him and Kevin Hart are the same.
Yeah. I've never met Kevin Hart, but I'm sure they're in the same, you know.
Guy too. Yeah. I was wondering the same thing. I heard Kirk Franklin's really small too, and I'm 5'7", so I'm like, oh Lord, have mercy.
Really, you're 5'7" too? You're 5'7" as well? Okay, yeah. So we're right there together.
I'm a tiny person. I'm 4'11".
Oh, she's one of them.
You could have at least made it to 5. You couldn't make it to 5.
You know, maybe I could have said, but you know, I'm honest with my driver's license. On my driver's license, I put I'm 5 feet, so I ain't gotta have a handicap sticker.
Oh my God.
You couldn't make it to 5. That's too. Well, she said you couldn't have made it to 5 feet.
I know that's me. I listen to your music no more. Say no.
Please don't make me laugh.
Oh my goodness.
That is wrong. Yeah, I was always wondering, you know, about Kirk Franklin. Is he a little tiny person? Because I heard the way he cussed his son out. You know, little tiny people, they got those aggressive attitudes and stuff. And I said that must be a short man the way he went off on his child. You know, so I was just.
But you know, in person, he was such a humble. I didn't get that from him. In person, he was so accepting of me. I remember they had us in groups in the church, and I saw him walking in, and the contest hadn't even started. Cameras weren't set up, and I saw him walking in with his entourage. I was like, "Hey, everybody, that's Kirk Franklin." And the other people were scared to walk up to him, but I walked up to him. He was like, "Hey, yeah, let's do pictures. Let's do it." So he, you know, and then he gave me some advice while I was on stage, and you know, so I just didn't, you know, that was just a snapshot of time. Just only one day. I don't know his personal life, but what I perceived of him, that's not, you know, I didn't perceive him being, you know, a nasty person or vile type person. So, but that's just what I perceive him. You know, that's how I perceive him.
And I'm the one who goes off of my. Everyone's different, and you know, we can portray ourselves a certain way, but I trust my instinct and I trust my judgment when I first meet somebody. There's always them sneaky ones, but but I would say probably your first instinct and your gut instinct was probably actually correct.
I think you might have a knack of putting into words how, you know, how people feel, how I felt about something. I can't put those. You know how to put that thing in. That's exactly how I feel. That's how I feel. I've never formed a word, but yeah, that's correct. Yeah, but yeah, that's exactly how I feel. I form my opinion.
Trust your gut, trust your judgment, and you can be wrong from time to time, but most of the time, I think that's God's discernment to
yes,
things like that. He gives that to us.
Yes, of a person's character, or you know, you know, and some, like you say, sometimes people slip through. So, but yeah, okay. But okay, I'm not gonna prolong it. Okay.
The type of music that you do, would you ever consider doing some more, you know, risque R&B, you know, music? If someone came to you and was like, "Yo, Myia, do this song with me," and it was kind of, you know, completely different from gospel, would you do that type of music, or would you just stick strictly to a certain genre?
Yes, I plan to. Now I do have I don't want to say, but like principles that I want to go by, because I know that children will be listening to it. I have a teenage sister. So I have an older sister who's 2 years older than I am, and I have a teenage sister who's still in high school right now. So I don't want to curse. I don't want to talk about violence. I don't want to be too overly sexually explicit. But within those confines, plan on stepping outside the box, because life and music is more than just gospel. That's part of it. That's a big part of it. Spirituality. That's a big part of it. But sometimes we fall in love, and sometimes we love, and sometimes we have different emotions towards certain things. But yeah, I do plan on stepping out a little bit more, stepping outside the box and stepping away. But I do plan on continue with some gospel songs. I said that, if I had a 10 song album, if I, as a representation, I would have like maybe 3 gospel songs and maybe 7 R&B soul songs.
Okay.
That's how I
describe it. Because I also know, as someone who was raised in church, I was one of those, it's this or this.
Mm-hmm.
There ain't no intermingling. It is gospel and all gospel, or you out here and you just wrong. And
yeah.
But
yes.
I will say, over the years, I have grown. I think I've grasped a better relationship with God, and my eyes have been opened. And years ago, I've been like, oh no, you can't do gospel and this. You got to. You can't
pick or choose.
You said
pick your
right.
Yeah, or the other. And there are still some aspects of my life that I still feel that, but in general, like you said, music, love is love.
Right. You
create music when you love. You create music, and what's wrong with expressing that?
Exactly. And the older generation, they have songs like. And they have sayings like, you can't be lukewarm, and 99 and a half won't do.
You'll be straddling the fence.
That's not a true representation of life. That's not a true representation, because they had sex sometimes. And that's how we're here. We're here because they had sex, and they don't want
to get married.
What?
They weren't all married.
And they weren't all, and some granddaddy stepped out sometimes. My granddaddy, before I was here, he had a lot, So I don't know if you want to, when you're with your spouse and you're married, as the Bible says you should be. I don't know if when you're with your spouse, you want to listen to a gospel song, worshiping God, And so, but I just feel
maybe
like
afterwards.
What you say?
Maybe afterwards.
But maybe not during, So, but I just feel like life. I feel like music is like the soundtrack of our life, and the music that I make is kind of like the soundtrack of my life. And I want to steer away from making negative music, because I feel like sometimes that can be self-fulfilling, like a self-fulfilling prophecy. So I don't want to speak anything negative, but and I don't want to talk about violence and all of that. But other than that, music is music. It's just
is you have to do what God tells you to do. My talents and my life and my story is not the same as yours. You can only tell your story because you've been through it, and I don't know what that is for you. What God has for you is exactly for you. And if God is telling you to go this route, who are you to go against that?
Right. Exactly.
We get so in our heads that, well, that's not what I would do. Exactly, because it's not your life, and God's not telling you to do that. So you have to do what God is telling you to do. And if this music and you're staying within the guidelines that God has given you,
right.
to do, and that's one thing that yet I tell people, you got to, don't worry about anybody else. You have to worry about what God is telling you to do, and that's what I have to do, and Miss J has to do. If God's telling me to do this, I have to do that regardless of if you think it's wrong, right, and different. That's not my business. That's between you and God, not between me and God.
And that is so,
you should be doing.
Amen.
That is so true. If we worried about ourselves as far as what's right and wrong, you know, a little bit more, I feel like the world would be a better place instead of worried about what somebody next. If they're not harming you, or pray for them. Keep them in your prayers. You know, if they're not harming you, keep them in your prayer. That's how I feel. And another thing is another way that I kind of look at it. Even with Miss J, I think the first way that they heard, you know, her and her friend heard of me is with a secular song, but that secular song drew them in, and now they're listening to some of my gospel music. Exactly. You know, so it can be, everybody wasn't born in the church, everybody isn't residing in the church. So I want to reach people who are, you know, didn't grow up in the church. I want to reach people on the street. I want to reach people that's in the club. My song might come on, and who is that? You know, so I, you know, who's gonna reach them? Who's gonna reach them? I have a specific audience that I'm gonna reach. Who's gonna reach them and show them love, and in a way, it's tell them about the love of Christ. Who's gonna do it? Who's gonna do it?
And
you, Miss J,
use you the way He knows you need to be used.
Yeah, I'm feeling chills. Miss Miles. Do you preach, Miss Miles?
No.
She's a motivational speaker. She does motivational.
Do you
online? She does.
Do you preach?
No,
oh my goodness! Yes.
They don't know. Listen, they don't know about Miss Smiley. All right.
I hear segue.
Music and what they don't.
I hear segue.
Smiley. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and play your song. Yes. Myia B music. They don't know, and we'll be right back after this break.
Yeah. They don't even know about you. Seem like the world's getting cold, like the whole world's on my shoulders. Okay. Trying to be the best I can be. I might cry, but no folding, cause they don't know the purpose in me. All the strength that I'm holding, cause I got my sword and my shield, something like a certified soldier. It's okay that they don't understand. They don't know, they don't know, they don't know. They don't even know. They don't know about you, no. They don't know, they don't know, they don't know. Don't know. They don't know, they don't know, they don't know. They don't even know. So pick yourself up off that ground. Gloves on, knuckle up for another round. Cause oppression, depression may be present, but it'll never hold a free man down. You got a room full of treasures that you never seen. And I'm not just talking about earthly things. You got confidence, intelligence, favor and swagger that's before a king. Cause they don't know the purpose in you, all the strength that you're holding. You got your sword and your shield. You're something like a certified soldier. I know you're trying to be the best that you can be. Yeah. They don't know, they don't know. You might cry sometimes. You got purpose inside of you. So much purpose inside.
No, excuse me. Anything like that, I love it. Love that inspirational and encouraging. That's it. Anyone who knows me personally knows that's my life. Just encouraging and uplifting. I love that. That is wonderful.
Yes. It's not. I just feel like that's my purpose. I feel like that's one of the purposes that God has made for me is to encourage people. It feels so good. It's when you see that you make a change in somebody's life, it feels so good. So good.
Your voice is amazing. I can see you doing like a collab with Givian. Do you know who Givian is?
Yes, I know. Yes. Let me tell you.
I hear Myia B, Givian.
Let me tell you, that's funny that you said that because Angel Wings, I found that beat on YouTube and it was titled a Givian beat. That's why I was like, yes.
Look at you.
Yeah, I had to go. Yeah.
That is crazy. Yeah. Like, no, seriously, like sometimes, I don't know, I do weird stuff. So I listen to music a lot of times, like laying in bed with my eyes closed, and I don't know. And then I hear a collaboration there. Like, I'm like, oh my God, you took them two power voices. Because I love his voice too. I'm like, it's just, y'all got them.
He's just different. He's just different. Yes, that would be awesome. Let's put that in the atmosphere. Yes, let's put that in the atmosphere.
Tag Givian in this video. Let him know we're trying to get Myia B music collab going on.
Yes.
That's
tag him.
Yeah, that's my projection. So if you could pick someone within the gospel community and someone outside of that box, what two people would you want to collab with the most?
Come here, Kurt Franklin. Come here, Kurt Franklin. Come here, Kurt Franklin. I think Kurt Franklin, he just, the way that he produces, and he just makes songs that are just so uplifting that I smile, even when I smile. Like I would love to collab with Kurt Franklin in the gospel community. I just think that we could make something happen. I dream about it. But outside of the gospel community, I would say Missy Elliott, and or T-Pain. I have like I know this you probably weren't expecting that, but they're kind of, I won't say wacky or weird, but they're just a little bit off center, a little bit, and different. And I just like that. That's what inspires me. That different. That different. If I hear a beat and it has something different, or an instrumental that has something different about it, just inspires me. It just pours out of me. So those would be the people that I would like to collab with.
You pick some heavy hitters. I like that.
For sure. And they
Missy, I'm like, ooh.
And then she's in her own genre if you really think about
it. And she is
music and what she does.
For sure. And when Missy sings, it's a soul. Yeah, it is. It's very out of the box. And I'm sorry if I'm cutting you off. It's the phone is kind of breaking up a little bit, but I think we're getting excited a little bit together. But when Missy sings, it's just a soulful type voice. Like her rapping is excellent. It's out of this world, but her singing is what really touches me. So if we could get together on the singing tip, and I think she worked with Tweet as well. Tweet is just, I love Tweet. So if we could get together on a soul type, I would like to get together with her on that type of level. And T-Pain, he sings as well. He can sing. I've heard him. Yeah, I've heard him without the auto tune, and some of his. Yeah, he can. I like.
Did you see him on the Masked Singer?
Masked Singer.
Oh, he was.
Yes.
He won because no one knew it was him because he was singing. So he won Masked Singer not this past season, but I think 2 seasons ago.
Yeah.
He won because no one would have guessed it was him because they didn't know he could sing.
Right. I gotta go back.
No, nothing. You have to go back and watch. I was like, I didn't know who he was for the longest, for several shows. And I kind of eventually caught on. I was like, man, that man can sing.
Yeah,
I
T-Pain.
would have never guessed it was T. I figured out some of the others, but never T-Pain. I was like, oh, snap, okay.
He can sing. He can sing. And he's soulful too. When he gets into his own music and making his own beats, he's very soulful. I love it. I love it. So those would be the people that I would choose to collaborate.
So we're going to go ahead at Kirk Franklin, at Missy Elliott, via tweet, at T-Pain. Y'all,
I'm telling you.
Drop them hashtags. Let them know. Myia B.
Everybody. I'm telling you. Everybody out there, tag them now. Tag them, tag them, tag them. Keep tagging.
Yes. Tag Vivian, because I'm projecting. I see that in the future. Like I want to hear that. Like if I'm gonna jump in Vivian's inbox.
Hey, hook it up for me. Hook it up.
What's going on? Most definitely. So
I'm telling you.
Do you sing in the shower? I know it's a weird question, but do you like?
Oh, for sure. For sure, I sing in the shower. For sure. I mean, that's when you sound the best to yourself, you know.
I'll be Beyonce. I'll be putting on. I'll be in concert. Listen, I'm trying to sell tickets and everything.
I sing so much. I took my son to his piano practice, and the piano teacher was asking, like, "Hey, do you have anybody else musical?" My mommy, she sings. I'm like, "Oh, shh. Don't tell people that. Don't do that."
All right.
So I know you said that you started singing when you were like 5 or 6.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
yes.
That's when you started singing, but is that when there are times in our lives when we like, this is what I want to do. I remember I love the piano. I'm not a pianist, but I remember my mom buying me that little Fisher Price ting 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 piano when I was 3. I remember that to this day, and that is my favorite instrument in the world. I play piano a little bit and other instruments, but I remember that day vividly in my mind, like, I got to do something in music. I don't do it. But I remember that. So when you started singing at 5 or 6 years old, was that the time that you thought, this is what I want to do, or were you just singing at that time?
That's not when I realized it, but it was spoken into me, into my life, into my mind, when I was young. Somebody said, you're going to be singing on big stage. It was like one of the mothers of the church. She was like, you're going to be singing on big stages one day. That's why I champion people speaking positive to children and speak, even if they don't seem like they're going to be anything, speak positive into their lives. But I realized that when I was a little bit older, I had to be probably around 12 or 13. And I was getting into Lauryn Hill. And I found out that my parents' computer in the living room could record voices. So I would make little songs and record myself. Also, I took piano lessons when I was young. I didn't stick with it long. I should have. I regret not sticking with it. I should have. But yeah, that's when I realized, hey, this is something that I think I want to do. It's just I love to create. I can draw a little bit. I also kind of write and help produce, not on a major scale, but it's major to me, on TikTok. My friend, she has like over 500,000 followers on TikTok. And I kind of help produce and I'm creative in that way. So I just like to create. So thank you.
What is it? Is it what's her first name? Is it Monique or Moni's
Mookie's Mini Movie? Yeah. No, you can just research. You did your research. Girl. Yes, Mookie's Mini Movies. And she has 500,000 followers on TikTok right now. And we're trying to I want to use all of my gifts and my talents. And so I help write some of those episodes with her. And so I just like to create. But when I realized that I could record songs on and it wasn't even a real microphone. It was like, you know how they have a microphone at the top of the monitor? I would just lean towards it and record my voice on it. And it was just something about it, being able to create songs that way. So that's when it kind of clicked to me that's something that I want to do for the rest of my life.
I completely get that. And I get your direction, because people who create stuff, people who are creative usually have lots of ways that they're creative. Yes. Whether it's music, whether it's drawing, whether it's writing, producing, creative people, that's why they're creative, is because they create things and they like to do that. And so I get where you're coming from.
Yes.
Sure.
Yes, definitely. Yes, definitely. I love creating. Right. Rather than singing someone else's song, I'd rather create my own and sing my own song. So, yeah. So
that is amazing. Like I don't know. You create beautiful music. You're into writing. You know, do you direct her videos as well, or you just do most of the writing?
Yeah, I do some directing. It's kind of like a co-write, co-direct type thing, but definitely, yeah. It might be like I might just be riding along the car, and I'm like, I might be like, hey, let's do this. Let's put the characters in this situation, and we play it out. And sometimes it's a hit, sometimes it's not. But it's just fun to be able to think of something and think of a situation and put it and bring it to life. It's just
when something pops into your head, music wise, lyric wise, what do you do?
My main process of creating a song is that I feel the creative juices flowing, and I go and listen to music and instrumentals and beats and things, and I get my recorder on my phone, and more so than the words, I just kind of form the tone and the tune, and I just kind of and try to capture the inflections of what the feeling is in that moment, and then I go back later and then I fill the words in of the tune that I created. That's how I do it most often. Sometimes I just go ahead and write the song out. But what I've realized about myself is that I need to go ahead and complete the song then, because it's probably not going to be a later for me. I need to complete this right now tonight. I'll
get to it later, and then whatever.
I'll never.
That's not my field, so I'm just like, okay, yeah. I'll get to it later. And then,
right. I probably won't ever get back to that song. And then I have moments where my mood for this day is not my mood for the next day. So, so if I have a mood for this song today, I need to, while I'm still in this mood, I need to go ahead and complete this thought and complete this song right now. So that's my process for the most part.
That's awesome. I'm
taking a lot of Mya's time, so we're going to go ahead and wrap up the show. We always like to do like funny trivia questions at the end of the show, just to get a different side of who we are interviewing. So I formulated some questions. I'm not sure if Miss Miley has any that she wants to ask you.
Okay.
So my first question is, if you had a choice between two superpowers, being invisible or flying, which one would you choose?
Flying.
Why?
I just feel like that would be an exhilarating feeling, just to be able to fly. There's no reason. I mean, the only reason why I feel like somebody would want to be invisible is to be like petty and just trying to loosen and try to pan. So, see what somebody's saying about them or something like that. But flying, I just feel like flying would be exhilarating, to be able to just fly over the city, and cruise over the city. And instead of cruising in your car, you'll be able to cruise over the city by flying. I feel like that would just be exhilarating and freeing. And so that's that. I would want to fly. I would want that to be my superpower.
I like that.
Yeah, I like that.
What about you? Right. What about you?
I would say invisible, because I'm afraid of heights. I don't want to fly. I don't want to fly, because what goes up must come down. I'll be scared I'll be flying and then just my superpower just cut out somehow. Go back through the Bermuda Triangle or something, hit the electricity voltage and then splash. I fall in the water. I can't swim or nothing. Like I don't want to fly.
What about you, Miss Miles?
I would probably pick flying, because I am a closet adrenaline junkie, so I like the heights. I like being up. I like doing all that stuff. And to me, being invisible, I think I would hear stuff that I probably don't want to hear. Be like, oh my God, they think like that about me. I don't want to hear. I'm the opposite of the petty. I don't want to hear all that.
Exactly.
So I would be the flyer. I'd have to choose.
Yep.
I'm not afraid of heights, so I just think it's a beautiful view.
Yeah.
So, Jordans or Adidas?
Jordans.
I knew she was gonna say that.
Jordans, baby.
What's wrong with Adidas?
Nothing wrong with Adidas. I just think of the white Adidas with 3 stripes on it. I mean, it's just kind of regular, kind of plain. I just feel like the J's, they just add a little pizzazz to it. And I grew up in the era when J's were just kind of like taking off. I feel like Adidas, it was really hot back in the 80s. I don't know. That's how I feel. But I it's just
That's just calling me out.
You're the one that said your age at the beginning of the show. I think that was Adidas.
That's just how I feel. You know, I mean, Adidas are nice. They're nice. I have some Adidas, you know, but I just it's the J's for me. It's the J's for me.
All right. Well, this one, because you're from the South. So this might be a hard question for you, you know, coming from the South things.
Okay.
Pig feet or cow tongue?
What? Neither? Oh, sorry.
I was after you.
Neither. No, no, really. I have to choose. Pig feet. I've never had cow tongue ever. Is it good?
I've never had it. I just thought that was a Southern question.
I have a coworker who she was saying that she made her husband cow tongue, and this was not a Black woman either. And I was like, "You did what for your husband? Do you not like him? What's going on?" And she said, "Oh no, you just slice it up really thin, and you cook it up." And she said it's delicious, and I said, "I'll take your word for it."
I wonder what texture is it? Like, is it like steak?
It's a big human tongue. It's a big fat thing. No, thank you. I'm sure it's probably delicious, and you can go to a 5-star Michelin restaurant and pay $500 for it, and it tastes delicious. I'll pass. Or if you don't let me know what it is. How about that?
I think
I want to try.
In certain cultures that is a delicacy, but
My last and final trivia question for you, Miss Myia B, is Mary J. Blige or Toni Braxton?
Toni Braxton.
Really?
Toni Braxton. Yeah. Huh?
I was not expecting that.
Really?
No.
I was Mary J. from you. I will say that. I thought you were going to say Mary J. on that.
Yeah.
I like Mary J. She's a little rough around the edges, which is okay. But Toni, I unbring my heart. You know, it's just like I just get. There are more songs. You know, so there are more songs that Toni Braxton has come out with that have touched me more so than Mary J. Now, Mary J. got some hitters for you. She got some hitters, but I just gravitate more toward Toni Braxton.
Okay, I understand.
What about y'all?
Toni Braxton for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, Toni Braxton for sure. I love her.
I don't know. I have I used to be a Mary J. fan, and I still am, but a lot of her songs to me are similar. She has the similar tone and things like that. No disrespect to Mary J. because I love her. Toni Braxton, I like her too. I just think I could tell her roots are more in gospel than I would say Mary J's are, and that doesn't mean you're bad or better. But I can see that. I can see it. Mary J's comes from a place of hurt to me.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what a lot of music is, and I got a lot of more. Tony's was more, you could tell, was rooted in that gospel soul type thing. So I don't know if I could make a choice, though. I won't lie, because I like them. I really do like them both for different reasons. So
I got you.
I'm gonna be lukewarm on this one. I know that's not the way to be, but I'm
lukewarm. I hear you.
Well, it's Myia, Tony for the win, 2-1. So Tony for the win. So no, totally agree. But yeah, no, so Myia, I really want to thank you for taking the time to come to the studio and talk to us. We really wanted to get your music out there. Again, when Keisha sent me the song 2 months ago, I was just like, man, this song is amazing. It's kind of like a foundation, of our, relationship and everything. So it has a positive meaning, personal meaning to me. And again, I would love to hear this being played in the wedding chapels and all over the world, because it's a beautiful song. And even if you separate it from, the whole wedding scene or whatever, it's just good lyrics, good beat, everything. It's generally a nice song, and everybody that listen to the song, they like, yo, who is that? I have people to call me back like, what's her name again? And then they downloading your stuff. So you're being played. I know here in Ohio. So yeah, everybody's playing it. You're on everybody's playlist. We want to go ahead and help you as much as we can, push your music. That's what we love doing here at EOE Radio, is getting indie artists out there.
Thank you.
Yeah, most definitely. So if you're watching this video now, we want you to go ahead and follow Miss Myia B Music. Give everybody all your social platforms so they know where they can follow you at and get stream your music. Okay.
On most platforms, you can follow me at myab.music. That's at MYIAB.music. That's on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Please follow me on all three. On YouTube, it's just Myia B Music, Myia B. You'll find me. SoundCloud. Please go to stream my music on all streaming platforms, whatever your favorite streaming platform is. iTunes. Download my songs. They Don't Know and Angel Wings by Myia B Music. Yeah, so that's where you can find me.
So we're gonna go out in the show with the reason for the season. Okay, this is the song that put me on to Myia B. This is Angel Wings, Myia. I put a little video together for your song. I can't wait. I hope you get out there and do a video for the song. I'm waiting on that. If you need anybody for the video, let me know. Just say when your girl is available, okay?
Hey, I've been looking for some people to
mind, Miss Myia B, if you can go ahead and introduce your Angel Wings song for our fans, I'd appreciate it.
Okay. Hey everybody. Listen, it's your girl Myia B Music. I want you to take a listen to this song, Angel Wings, by myself, Myia B Music. Play it at your weddings, play it for people that, your loved ones. Take a listen to it, enjoy it, and just continue to play it for me if you don't mind.
And here we go. Yes.
Listen as I sing. God bless me, yeah. Whenever He brought you, brought you my way. Angel wings, beautiful things. Oh, what joy this love brings. Oh, whether it's fall or spring, can't you feel it? Can't you hear it? When the bells start to ring. Oh, God bless me. brought you, never he brought you my way, my way, my way. Oh no, yeah. God bless me, yeah. I'm so glad never he brought you, never he brought you my way. I thank you, God. Thank you, God, for all you've done. From the shining moonlight to the burning sun. Oh, bring what may. A few rainy days may come. As long as you know, baby, you're my only one. Yeah. God bless me. God bless me. Never he brought you. Never he brought you my way, baby. Oh, yeah, yeah. God bless me. Yes, he did. Whenever he brought you my way, my way, my way, my way. Yeah, yes, yeah. God, don't you know he blessed me? Don't you know whenever he brought you my way, my way, my way, my way. God bless me. Whenever he brought you my way, baby. Oh, the day. God bless me. Oh, whenever he brought you my way, my way. Yeah. Angel wings, beautiful things. Oh, what joy this love brings.
I get it.
And Myia, I just want to also thank you so much for the Christmas video. It was beautiful. It was so thoughtful and well put together. Takesha cried like a baby. She cried like a baby. She was so blown. She was like, I cannot believe that you did this and you actually, got her to do a video. And I said, she is such a cool, humble person,
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I didn't feel any resistance or hesitation in asking you, just from the energy that I got from us messaging back and forth. And she's a true fan. So she's so smitten. She was like, can I post this? Can I want the world to see this? And I'm like, yeah. She
Please post it. I'm honored. I was honored.
Yeah.
I was honored.
This video.
Yeah, I want to show you the video.
What'd you say? Amazing. I was honored. It made me feel like a bigger star than I am, but it made me feel like a star. So I was honored. Yeah, I was honored.
At some point, you need to grasp that and accept it, because you are amazing. You have a gift and the world needs to hear you, and you are on your way. You made it on Sunday's Best. There are so many people that are dreaming about being where you already have been. And my advice to you is to keep going, never give up, no matter what anyone says or how anyone feels. You're going to come into hurdles, those opinions that you got at Sunday's Best, but that's fine. You just take them with a grain of salt. You keep pushing and you just keep praying, and everything is going to go in your favor, because it already is. And you have fans, you have support behind you, and whenever you need us, you reach out to us. You can reach out to us personally, individually, or we're here at EOE Radio. Whatever it is that Myia B Music needs, you let us know. And we got you.
Thank you. Thank y'all so much. Thank you. I thank you both. Thank you so much for sharing your platform with me and allowing me to come on. Y'all might not know, but it kind of reinvigorated me. Interviews, it just reminds me that I do have a gift, and just kind of puts a little bit more fire under me to continue on with the work that I'm supposed to be doing and the work that I love doing. So I thank you both for just bringing me on and sharing your platform. I thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for your time. I know you have to get to your family. So we sincerely apologize. We just talk a lot.
It's okay. They're used to it. Okay. So I thank you. Thank you so much. Thank y'all.
Happy New Year.
Soon. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to y'all.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye.